Welcome to Master English Stories, the channel where real-life stories help you improve your English and grow your heart. Today, we bring you the amazing life story of William Shakespeare, the greatest writer the world has ever known. You may have heard his name in school, in movies, or in books, but do you really know who he was? How did a boy from a small town with no fame or wealth become a man whose words touched the hearts of kings and common people across the world? In this story, we will take you back in time to the streets of London, the wooden stages of the old theatres, and the mind of a man who wrote about love, jealousy, friendship, pain, power, and dreams. You'll discover why people still read his words, act in his plays, and quote his lines even after more than 400 years. So, sit back, relax, and listen closely. Let the story of Shakespeare light up your English and your soul. A long time ago, in a small English town called Stratford-upon-Avon, a baby boy was born in the year 1564. His name was William Shakespeare. No one knew then that this baby would grow up to become the greatest writer the world has ever known. Even today, over 400 years later, people around the world still read his plays, recite his poems, and watch his stories on stage and screen. Shakespeare's father, John Shakespeare, was a glove maker and the town leader. His mother, Mary Arden, came from a wealthy family. William was the third of 8 children. His family was not rich, but they were respected in the town. William probably went to a local grammar school where he learned Latin, history, and classical literature. Though we don't know everything about his early life, we do know that he was very smart and loved reading and writing. When William was only 18 years old, he married a woman named Anne Hathaway, who was 8 years older than him. Together, they had 3 children, Susanna, and the twins Hamlet and Judith. Life in Stratford was quiet, but William had a dream. He wanted something more. He wanted to be a writer. In the late 1580s or early 1590s, Shakespeare moved to London, the big city. It was there that he began to build his new life. He started working in theatres, first as an actor, and then as a writer. London was a busy, growing city, full of energy, business, and people who loved entertainment. Plays were one of the most popular things. People rich and poor went to theatres to laugh, cry, and feel the magic of stories. Shakespeare began writing plays for one of the best theatre companies, called the Lord Chamberlain's Men. His first plays were very successful. People loved the way he used language, simple but beautiful, poetic but clear. His plays were filled with strong emotions: love, jealousy, anger, hope, and pain. He knew how to touch the heart of every person, no matter where they came from. Some of his early plays were comedies, like A Midsummer Night's Dream and The Comedy of Errors, and history plays like Henry IV and Richard III. But as he grew older, his plays became deeper and more serious. He wrote tragedy stories where great people fall because of their own choices. His most famous tragedy is Hamlet, a story about a young prince who wants revenge but struggles with what is right. He also wrote Romeo and Juliet, the world's most famous love story. It tells about 2 young lovers whose families hate each other. Their love is beautiful but ends in sadness. Shakespeare showed how love and hate can both be strong, but love is always worth it. Another famous tragedy is Macbeth, the story of a man who wants to be king so badly that he does terrible things. In the end, his greed destroys him. Shakespeare teaches that power without honesty leads to ruin. He also wrote Othello, a play about jealousy, trust, and lies, and King Lear, a powerful story of an old king, his daughters, and the pain of betrayal. These plays are still performed around the world today because their lessons are still true. But Shakespeare didn't just write sad plays. He also wrote joyful comedies full of love and laughter, like Twelfth Night, Much Ado About Nothing, and As You Like It. These plays remind us that life is not just about pain, but also about fun, joy, and kindness. And then there were the poems. When the theatres closed due to a plague, Shakespeare used that time to write poetry. He wrote sonnets, short poems with 14 lines. They talk about love, time, beauty, and life. He wrote 154 of them, and many are still loved today. One of the most famous begins, "Shall I compare thee to a summer's day? Thou art more lovely and more temperate... This means, should I compare you to a summer day? You are more beautiful and calm." Such simple words, yet so full of feeling. Shakespeare's words had a kind of magic. He didn't just tell stories, he changed the English language. He invented many new words and phrases that we still use today. Phrases like break the ice, heart of gold, wild goose chase, and in a pickle all came from his plays. He showed that words could be playful, powerful, and poetic all at the same time. As Shakespeare grew older, he became very successful. He made money, became a part owner of a theatre called the Globe, and returned to Stratford to live a peaceful life. But he never stopped writing, even near the end of his life. He wrote stories like The Tempest, full of wonder, forgiveness, and wisdom. In 1616, William Shakespeare died at the age of 52. He was buried in a church in Stratford, where his grave still remains. On his tombstone, there is a message, said to be written by him, asking people not to move his bones, but though his body lies still, his words continue to live. His stories are still told, his plays are still acted, his poems are still read. Across the world, from England to India, from Africa to America, people know his name, students learn his lines, actors speak his words, writers are inspired by his style. He lives on in every story that tries to touch the heart and open the mind. Why does Shakespeare still matter? Because he wrote about things we all feel. He wrote about love, fear, jealousy, hope, and dreams. He showed kings and beggars, lovers and fighters, fools and wise men. He showed that we all laugh, cry, hope, and fail, that being human is not always easy, but it is always worth it. He taught us that no matter how big the world becomes, the human heart stays the same. So next time you hear the name William Shakespeare, remember this. He was a man who used simple tools, a pen, paper, and a heart full of feeling to change the world. He didn't fly, fight, or rule kingdoms. He just wrote. And through his words, he gave life to love, pain, joy, and truth. He's not just a writer of the past. He's a friend of the present. A voice that still speaks, a light that still shines. And that was the story of William Shakespeare, the man who gave life to words and changed the world with his pen. From a small town boy to the most famous writer in history, his journey teaches us something very powerful. Greatness doesn't need money or power. It only needs heart, passion, and purpose. Even today, his words live on in books, movies, and the hearts of people everywhere. He showed us how stories can heal, teach, and inspire. And now, his story has become a gift to you. We hope this story helped you learn English in a new way through feelings, through history, and through wonder. If you enjoyed it, don't forget to like, comment, share, and subscribe for more inspiring stories told in simple English. This is Master English Stories, where every story is a lesson for your language and a light for your life. See you in the next one.